How will you recognize revenue in case of trade date and the settlement date?
Trade date and the settlement date.
ये आपका वो चैप्टर है फॉरेक्स का, उससे पूछा है सब, ठीक है। तो ये सब वहां से आप पढ़ेगा, फॉरेन एक्सचेंज वाला चैप्टर। तो दिस इज आस्क्ड रिसेंटली, एसडीसी ओनली, ठीक है। तो ये हो गया आपका ट्रेड डेट, सेटलमेंट डेट, डेप्रिसिएशन ऑन स्टॉक। डेप्रिसिएशन स्टॉक लगता ही नहीं है ना, इन्वेंट
अच्छा,
फिजिकल फिक्स्ड एसेट में
ओके।
लगते हैं ना।
यस यस यस।
राइट, इससे कंफ्यूज होते हैं लोग, ठीक है। इम्पेयरमेंट डेप्रिसिएशन आपको आता ही है। डिफरेंस बिटवीन फ्यूचर और फॉरवर्ड, ये एक बार देखिएगा। फ्यूचर आई थिंक करेंसी में लगता है, और फॉरवर्ड आपका कुछ हेजिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स वगैरह में लगता है। तो ये एक देख लेगा। डेरिवेटिव अंडरलाइन कुछ एसेट होता है, अंडरलाइन के ऊपर में बेट करता है टू हेज द रिस्क, ऐसे कुछ डेरिवेटिव है। और देखिएगा एसएफएम में क्या है, अंडरलाइन के ऊपर में कुछ होता है, अंडरलाइन एसेट के ऊपर में कुछ, उसके ऊपर में लेने के लिए, डिराइव करने के लिए वैल्यू लेता है। ओके, तो ये एक बार देख लीजिएगा। ओपन एंडेड, क्लोज एंडेड, आई थिंक सही बोले थे वैसे, ये भी एक बार देख लो। ओके, हाउ विल यू स्टार्ट एन ऑडिट, वो बहुत गलत हो रहा था आपका। तो स्टार्ट एन ऑडिट, एनालिटिकल रिव्यू, फिर नेचर टाइमिंग एक्सटेंड, रिस्क असेसमेंट प्रोसीजर्स, मेटरनिटी लेवल्स, you will study the annual reports, understanding of the businesses of the client. You'll see the past year audit report to see what mistakes were there. These are the things. Analytical review, what is analytical review?
Analytical reviews are basically it comprises of trend analysis. Like we'll check the revenue in relation to the past years, and we'll analyze how the revenue is changing. And the other one is ratio analysis. Generally, we will calculate certain ratios such as net profit to sales ratio, debt to equity ratio, and we'll check uh, on the basis of that ratios.
What are the audit report variance analysis you forgot? So analytical review, you do variance analysis. So you do the
Okay.
variance analysis of the last year and current year figures, and you find out the reason for those variances to identify the significant accounts. This is already there in our Excel sheet also. Okay, so
Yes,
again,
yes.
yes, so that is very important.
Once
Out here it is.
once you share me that updated Excel sheet, sir, once.
It's old only actually. I'll share still. Okay, it is old only.
Okay.
Just a second. It is old only. It is there already. If you see now analytical review, it will be, you will get it. I just said if it, then also no problem. Okay, so it is there. Analytical review, everything is there. I'm just sharing it with you. Analytical review. Okay, this is analytical review. Deloitte, this was asked. Okay, variance is there. This is the suspicious transaction. It is done at the planning and the closure stage. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Study till night, so you will know okay, what are the mistakes. Planning and closure state it is done to identify the significant account nature, timing, extent of audit procedure to inform the management of significant variance from audit opinion. You got my point now? This point. So
Yes,
this
sir.
is very
Yes, sir.
important. It is done at the planning stage also and in the closure stage also. Planning state it is done to identify the significant account. What is significant account? The account which has variances. So that हम लोग को सब कुछ में माथा नहीं लगाना है। जब आप स्मॉल फॉर्म का ऑडिट करता है तो आप खाली टिक मार्क करता है, इसको टिक कर दिया, उसको टिक कर दिया, इसको टिक कर दिया, इसको टिक कर दिया। That is how the small form audits are done. But in the big companies, what happens? You do first variance analysis to find out which accounts has variances. For example, sales has variances. You ask the management for the variances reasons, and then you do identify the significant accounts, and then आप vouching verification extent, nature timing extent of audit procedure से set करता है कितना vouching करना है, कितना मैन पावर दरकार है, कौन सा अकाउंट कौन हैंडल करेगा। In a small company, you do entire audit, but in the big companies, where you go to Big 4 top 20 CA firms also, you do audit मतलब line item wise. Somebody will manage sales, somebody will manage purchase, somebody will manage trade receivable, somebody will manage trade payable. So how this decision is taken, it is done on the basis of an analytical review also to a certain extent. So that is also very, very important. Okay. So what is analytical? This is done at the planning stage. You ask how to start an audit. You will start with this only. Here it is mentioned also. If you do Control F also, Control F, and you do workbook out here, workbook, and here start you write start. You get the start audit, and see here it is pre-engagement activities, business annual report, this variance analysis, identify the significant, determining this audit risk assessment, control testing. These things are done. Nature timing extent of audit procedures. So this is what it is done. Okay, very important. It can be asked. Okay. What is risk assessment procedures? Wrap.
Risk assessment procedures are basically like,
Make sure in campus interview when you are sitting, okay, try to tell each and every answer, because in the campus, okay, they are checking your confidence. Even if you are saying one or two answer wrong also, maybe you should take chances and say the answer and show your
okay,
confidence. Okay, to make sure you
okay,
say
sir.
all the answers with total confidence. If you're saying wrong answer also, say with confidence.
Hmm.
It might work for you. Okay, but say the answer with total confidence so that it might work from you. Okay. So what is risk
Okay,
assessment
sir.
procedures? Don't fumble in between. Don't show that you don't know the answer. Try to be as much confident as you can in interview. Okay. What was the question? Yeah. Wrap. Risk assessment procedures. Give answers with common sense also. Okay. So it is good. Okay. Risk assessment
Like,
procedures. Hmm.
we'll risk assessment procedures are the procedures performed in order to assess the risk that is there in the entity. Like, we'll assess the risk by way of testing controls. By way of control testing, we'll assess the risk, and on the basis of that, if the controls are effective, then we'll decide the substantive procedures based on the effectivity of controls. If the controls are more effective, then we perform less substantive procedures. If the controls are more effective, we will perform. If the controls are more effective, then we will perform less substantive procedures.
You can mention say SSC 315 also, risk assessment procedure. There are all the procedures mentioned. So you'll go through that. Risk SSC
Okay, sir.
115. What are the audit risk? What are the understanding the identity and its environment? You'll understand the business to know what are the various types of risks. So those answers you can make it. 315 essay. Many times this is asked. Okay. Uh, Payroll
Okay, sir.
testing. Okay. What are the procedures in payroll testing?
So basically, we'll go by assertion, sir. Like, we'll check the occurrence by way of verifying the attendance register and the payroll register, and we'll check the completeness by way of cross-checking, reconciling the attendance register, payroll register, journals, ledgers, trial balance, and the journals, ledger, trial balance, and the account balances, and the P&L balances, and we'll check the accuracy. Like, we'll check the arithmetical accuracy, and we'll also check whether the same payments are made or not when compared to the payroll register and the journals, like same payment is made or not. And we'll check the classification, like whether the employees are classified correctly or not, like permanent employees, like the classification is perfect or not, like the permanent employees, casual employees, or the temporary employees. We'll check that, and we'll check the cut. We'll also perform the cutoff procedures by way of head count, like such as the opening employees plus additional employees minus the employees who were exited. On the basis of that, we'll check with a number of employees as on the 31st March. We'll reconcile that. We'll perform this, and we'll obtain a reasonable understanding in relation to the assertions.
Okay. What is cutoff procedures in revenue?
So basically, cutoff procedures are performed to make sure that the revenue is booked, revenue of a particular period is booked in that particular period itself. We'll perform the cutoff procedures by way of checking the last week invoices of March, whether they are relating to the April or not, and the invoices of April. Um, first week invoices of April, we'll check whether they related to the March, so that we could ensure that the revenue is booked to that particular period. And we can also check the sales returns that happened after the 31st March, and the reasons for that, to make sure whether the sales returns are correct or not.
You will take the 5 to 10 transactions of the March and 5 to 10 transactions of this, and you'll do the invoice testing and all the freight bills, eBay bills, Incoterms, you will check. And also you'll check the sales returns also. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This answer was also there out here. Okay. So this also needs to be done. Cut off. Out here, if you write cut off, you will get cut off. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let's go through it once. So you will get cut off out here. Revenue cut off. See, cutoff fraud na fraud sheet it is there. Revenue cutoff. You will go through this properly. Okay.
Yes, sir.
In fraud only it is mentioned. If you go through the sheet properly, all the answers out here only. More or less, is this sheet has to be done properly. Okay, you get everything out here. Next, the revenue cutoff is just check the transactions. Okay, invoice testing you do 5 to 10 transactions of the March and the 5 to 10 transaction of April, and you just check whether it is invoicing. It is in the correct period. If it is in the April period, then what you will do? You will reverse the revenue. Something you have
Like
invoiced
we'll
today,
check,
it is raised.
like we'll check
Suppose,
the
for
date, sir.
example, as simple as that. For example, um, somebody has make the payment for GS Prime today in 25th March, but he's taking the service on to 2nd April. So I should record the revenue on 2nd April, not on 25th March. So if it is recorded in 25th March, then I will have to reverse the revenue. I will ask the management to reverse the revenue because the service is actually provided after the April. That is what the cut-off procedure. Simple language. This is the cut-off procedure. So that only we are seeing if it is a goods case, so whether the goods has actually been received by the buyer before 31st March. If it is not, then we will ask the management to reverse the revenue, checking everything. Simple cut-off procedure यही होता है. It is very
Like
simple.
for the
An example,
like
sales return
we'll
is
check
there.
the
हाँ,
date,
receipt of
sir.
goods हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है. हाँ, you have to check the date whether the receipt is after 31st March. If it is after 31st March, you will ask the management to reverse the revenue if it is recorded before that. So it's just checking the revenue is recognized properly in the correct period or not.
Like the date in the invoice, sir. Like
हाँ.
you are saying that whether
Date
the
of
goods are
invoice is
received or
मान के
not.
चलो date of invoice is 25th March. Payment is also made 25th March, but the goods have been received by the buyer after the 31st March. Then it should be recorded
Like
after 31st March only. Everything is after
like we'll
31st March. Hmm.
like we'll get to know the receipt of goods by way of GRN, right, sir? Goods receipt note.
E-way bill and all, e-way bill, freight
Ah,
bill,
okay, sir.
when it is going to be
You
delivered by them. So that was the thing that you will be checking. Incoterms, you will be checking everything. Okay, those things are
like
important.
in
Also,
Incoterms
you will. Hmm.
we'll get to know the FOB, whether the sale is done on the basis of
FOB,
FOB,
CIF, FOB,
ex-factory
CIF,
price,
yes.
CIF price.
That you need to check. And also you will check the sales returns. Whether if the sales return is happening on April and that is a fake sales return also, it could be the case. So you will check whether the sales return are fake or genuine by cross-checking with the sales which has happened and what was the reason for the sales returns. So sales
Okay.
returns also you have to check after the 31st March, whether it's genuine or not. So many things. So
Like
these are the things in
we'll check the invoice, goods receipt note, e-way bill, Incoterms. These all things we'll
everything.
check and
Sales
we'll
return,
confirm.
sales return, everything you'll
Uh,
check. Okay, how will you check the unrecorded liability?
Unrecorded liability.
I don't know. Easy question, very easy.
Like we need to check the if we are checking the expenses, we'll get to know how the expenses are being recorded, and if there are any expenses that are being not recorded, then we'll make the provisions, right? They are the we need to make the provisions. We need to show the outstanding expenses for the March month, like the audit fee kind of a thing. Audit fee generally they won't book. Like we need to make a provision for the audit fee. That is the unrecorded liability, no, sir. We need to check that and we'll make sure that they record that.
Unrecorded liability is very important. How to check unrecorded liability? So you see the payment structure after the April, May, June. What is the payment they are getting? If they are getting the
Okay.
payment, if it is related to the liability of the related to anything of the March, April of the last year, so you will say whether the liability is booked or not in the month of March in the balance sheet.
Okay,
If it is
like
not booked, then
payment
it is an
structure.
unrecorded. So if it is not booked in the month of March, then it is an unrecorded liability. Okay, so
Okay,
this
sir.
and also you can check whether there is any contingent liability which they have not shown. So that also can be checked whether there is something contingent liability which they have not shown. Okay, so that also
Yes,
you
sir.
can do. Next,
सर दे इंडेस के बारे में कुछ पूछा है तो कैसा जवाब देना सर? Like
India
will
जरा
you
पूछेगा नहीं.
add
I don't think so. India they will ask, but they have asked in the past. Okay, you have done the
like
valuation of
I
inventory
mentioned
as
in
per.
my
हाँ,
I
India's too.
mentioned in my CV, sir.
How will
Yes,
you
sir.
value inventory as per Ind AS 2?
The the valuation is as per the FIFO method and the weighted average method, sir.
ये जो आप
In
इंडेक्स
FIFO
नंबर लिखा
method,
है ना, ये 3 इंडेक्स नंबर
uh,
आप जो लिखा है वो आपको पढ़ना पड़ेगा। इंडेक्स 24, इंडेक्स 115, 116, तो ये
like
गो थ्रू करिएगा।
I have practical knowledge there. I read them,
हम्म,
but
हम्म,
they are asking me whether you have practical knowledge. You have written in your CV you have practical knowledge about that or not. Like they are
हम्म।
asking. So what answer should I give? Like
पहले तो फर्स्ट थिंग इज दैट इफ यू डोंट हैव प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज यू शुड नॉट राइट ओनली, इट बेटर नॉट टू राइट।
yes,
ज्यादा क्यों पूछेगा,
okay,
फिर पूछेगा ही नहीं आपको। राइट ओनली दोज थिंग्स विच यू हैव कंफर्ट ऑल्सो। मान के चलो ऑडिट है या स्टैट ऑडिट है या इंटरनल ऑडिट है, तो थिंग विच यू हैव वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग कंफर्ट के आपको क्रॉस क्वेश्चन पूछेगा तो आप जवाब दे पाएगा, वही चीज सीवी में लिखना भी चाहिए। सो दैट इज द बेस्ट
okay.
थिंग फॉर यू। अगर आपको नहीं नॉलेज है और आप
Like
बोल रहे हैं कि तो अब यू कैन से वन थिंग दैट आई डिड इट इन द फर्स्ट ईयर ऑफ माय आर्टिकलशिप, आई एम नॉट एबल टू रिमेंबर एग्जैक्टली व्हाट आई, तो दैट यू कैन से। तो वही चीज है, फिर आपने
like
किया है तो वही लिखो, नहीं तो बोलो थियोरिटिकल नॉलेज, बोलो आपको थियोरिटिकल नॉलेज है। तो अब
like
गलती
what
बोलने
should
से
I
मतलब,
say? Like
अगर आपने
sir,
नहीं करके रखा तो मत लिखो, और नहीं करके
I
रखा तो
have
मत
done,
लिखो, फिर
sir.
ग्रिल करेगा।
I have done in relation to a particular client, but उतना deep में नहीं गया, थोड़ा
हाँ, तो बोल दो उसको,
थोड़ा financials देख लिया.
you tell them
हाँ,
exactly what you have done. You say कि I have not done that in that deep, okay, but I have done it
हम्म,
in this
हम्म,
XYZ client, I have done it and this is the area that I found। जो आप किया वो बताओ ना, क्यों दिक्कत है, नो प्रॉब्लम। समझ रहे हैं
okay,
ना,
okay,
जितना किया उतना ही बताओ कि हाँ ये एरिया किया है। ज्यादा उसको नॉलेज दिखाएगा फिर वो आपको ग्रिल करेगा, तो जो आपने किया वही दिखाओ उसको, तो इट इज गुड। ठीक है, रेवेन्यू रिकॉग्निशन हुई है। शेड्यूल 3 कार शेड्यूल 3 अमेंडमेंट्स, व्हाट आर द शेड्यूल 3 अमेंडमेंट्स?
like there are amendments in relation to the promoters holding, like any change in the promoters holding we need to be disclosed, and the other thing is the current maturity of long term borrowing should be uh, classified under the uh, classified under the current short term borrowing, not under the other current liabilities. And there are other things I don't remember, sir. Like I will go
इजी
through
है,
once, I'll get.
गो थ्रू दिस। तो ट्रेड पेबल एजिंग, एजिंग को लेके है काफी, ट्रेड पेबल, ट्रेड
Ah,
रिसीवेबल, कैपिटल वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस, intangible assets under develop, that also they are
under
aging.
development,
Then changes in the promoter shareholding as applicable
hmm,
on unlisted claims,
like
security deposit, I think
binami
security
properties
deposit है,
held,
other loans and advances अभी other current liability हो गया, मेरे आपका स्टॉक ऑफ
security
कंपनीज के
deposit.
ऊपर में है। तो वो सारा है एक्सेल शीट
Yes,
में, आप एक्सेल शीट में सब कुछ है,
yes, sir,
वो
yes,
जो
sir,
गो थ्रू करो आपको मिल जाएगा, इजी है।
yes, sir.
हम्म, और देख लेते हैं कुछ और। तो आपको पता चल गया कहाँ पर आपको इम्प्रूव करना है, एक बार रिपीट करेंगे क्या क्या पर इम्प्रूव करना है, विच आर द एरियाज यू नीड टू इम्प्रूव, लेट्स रिकैप।
Like in relation to risk assessment procedure, I need to check that risk
हम्म,
assessment procedure क्या होता है,
हम्म,
like उसमें variance analysis करते हैं,
वेरिएंस
उसके बारे
एनालिसिस
में.
कहाँ, रिक्स में नहीं करता है, रैप में 315 देखना है ऐसे नंबर। ऑडिट प्लानिंग
Okay.
आपको अच्छा से पढ़ना है, लिखते जाओ,
Hmm.
ऑडिट प्लानिंग, हाउ टू स्टार्ट एन ऑडिट, वो अच्छा से करना है। ऑडिट एग्जीक्यूट कैसे करना है, ऑडिट को क्लोज कैसे करना है, ठीक है। वाई डू वी कैलकुलेट परफॉर्मेंस मेटेरियलिटी, वो अच्छा से होना चाहिए आपका, ठीक
Hmm.
है।
Yes, sir.
देन मेरे हिसाब से ये आपका फ्यूचर फॉरवर्ड डेरिवेटिव्स, ये सब आपको अच्छा से होना चाहिए, ठीक है।
Yes, sir.
फिगर वो और क्या था पॉइंट्स, शेड्यूल 3 अमेंडमेंट्स, शेड्यूल 3 अमेंडमेंट्स,
um, like revenue cutoff procedures,
शेड्यूल 3 अमेंडमेंट्स हो गया, वो आप देख लीजिएगा।
unrecorded liability thing, derivative future forwards.
Wait, and अपार्ट फ्रॉम जो क्या था क्वेश्चन जो आपको करना है?
सर हाँ वही सर।
ये सारा क्वेश्चन एक बार आप गो थ्रू करिएगा, तो मैं आपको दे रहा हूँ।
हम्म,
ठीक है, ये क्या पर गया, ये आप कर लीजिएगा। ठीक है, ये क्वेश्चन आपको आना चाहिए। ठीक है, ये सब आपको गो थ्रू करना है, ये जितना भी है ना, ये आपको। व्हाट इज एमआरएल?
MRL is a management representation letter. Basically, it contains the responsibilities of the management in relation to the financial statements that they have prepared.
व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन एमआरएल एंड एलओई?
Letter of engagement, okay. uh, Basically MRL is the responsibilities of management in relation to the financial statements. Letter of engagement is basically the engagement letter that is provided by the management to the auditor, which conveys his engagement in the audit of their company. Sir, if they ask the question like how do you manage the staff, like kind of a thing.
In the Article C, I have managed well. In the first year of Article C, I was very good with team spirit and leadership skills. So I used to manage all these things very properly. Okay, so
Like
I used to
examples,
help.
if examples
I used
they'll
to
ask.
help my juniors in guiding them properly. Okay, whenever they needed my help, I used to help them. And even whenever I was given an opportunity to lead, okay, with TDS, GST or audit, whatever, so I used to take the responsibility and try to complete within the deadlines. I was very good in following up with my juniors, and I used to motivate them also if they are not able to do, whether they are getting stuck in any work, then I used to guide them properly. Okay. I also used to connect with them after the office sessions also, so that I will maintain a good relations with them. If you maintain good relation with people, then they work for you more than the office hours also. So that is also you can say. I was good in interpersonal skills, communication skills. I was very good in my boss. तो these are things आपको बोलना है अच्छा से, ठीक है? ठीक है, मेरे हिसाब से आपका हो गया है। आपको जो क्वेश्चंस मैंने भेजा है ना, ये क्वेश्चंस आप कर लो, आई थिंक आपको हो जाएगा। ठीक है,
Sure,
तो
sir. Sure, sir.
ये आप अच्छा से कर लो। जो मैंने ये आपको भेजा है ना, ये जितना भी अभी क्वेश्चंस भेजा है, जितना भी, इस क्वेश्चंस आप अच्छा से कर लो। आई मीन सेशन एक मिनट का, ठीक है? तो वो ये मैं बोल रहा था, ये आप एक बार कर लो जितना भी क्वेश्चंस है, और कोई भी क्वेश्चन छोड़ना मत, और एक्सेल शीट गो थ्रू कर लो प्रॉपर्ली। मेरे हिसाब से आपका हो जाएगा। मेरे हिसाब से आप एक्सेल शीट और ये कर लेगा मोटा मोटी आपका, ठीक है? आपको 8-10 क्वेश्चन ही बोलेगा, और वहां पर मैं कोशिश करना सारा आंसर देने का, टेंशन मत लेना। और 3 चीज याद रखना: कोट, व्हाइट शर्ट, टाई एंड क्लीन
Okay, sir.
बियर्ड। और
Okay, sir.
वॉलपेपर पूरा ऊपर का जो वॉलपेपर है ना, एकदम क्लीन रखना। तो कोट, टाई, व्हाइट शर्ट, नो चेक, चेक नहीं होना चाहिए, याद रखिएगा। टाई
Okay, sir.
और बियर्ड भी क्लीन कर लीजिए, अच्छा रहेगा। बियर्ड क्लीन, इट विल बी लुकिंग गुड। आपको ये पूरा
Okay, sir.
क्लीन करना पड़ेगा, एंड देन और ये क्वेश्चंस आपको कंप्लीट करना, बस ये आप ड्रेसिंग में आप ध्यान दे दिया। सीवी को तो आप पढ़ लीजिएगा, और ये क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करिए, आपका हो जाएगा। ठीक है, आई थिंक
Sure.
आपका हो
Thank
जाएगा, और जितना हो सके क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करिए, हो जाएगा आपका। ऑल दी वेरी बेस्ट। जीडीएस वीडीएस में एक जैसा ही क्वेश्चन पूछता है। ट्राई टू बी एज मच कॉन्फिडेंट एंड स्माइल अ लॉट। स्माइल कम करते हो, कॉन्फिडेंस दिखाइए, स्माइल करिए, तो आपका हो जाएगा ऊपर में। ट्राई टू स्माइल एज मच एज पॉसिबल। अगर हो जितना हो सके आंसर दीजिएगा, ना मत करिएगा। ट्राई टू गिव डिप्लोमेटिक आंसर एंड गेट अवे विद इट। कैंपस के लिए,
Okay, sir.
ऑफ कैंपस होता तो मैं बोलता कि आप ना बोलो, कैंपस में क्योंकि 30 मिनट का ही देता है। ट्राई टू गिव एज मच आंसर एज यू कैन। नहीं भी पता फिर भी कुछ ना कुछ बोल के आइए, ऑफ कॉमन सेंस से बोल के आइए, ट्राई करके देखिए इंटरव्यू किस तरीका का है। तो ज्यादा करके जो इंटरव्यू लेता हो सकता है सीए ना भी हो, तो मे बी आपका एक बार ट्राई करके देखिए कि मे बी यू गेट अवे विद इट। तो ट्राई टू मेक श्योर कि सारा आंसर आप देना है विद कॉन्फिडेंस। कॉन्फिडेंस ही चेक करता है लोग। आंसर थोड़ा 19-20 होगा, पर कॉन्फिडेंस 100% रखना है। और स्माइल करिए आपका हो जाएगा। ठीक है, ग्रुप में फीडबैक दे दीजिए, कल बताइएगा जो भी रिजल्ट
Sure.
आता है। और आप ये जो भी पढ़ लें, आप यहाँ पर नहीं भी लगेगा, आपका बता रहा है ऑफ कैंपस तो 100% लगना ही लगना है। इंटरव्यू में इज
Yes,
ऑल
sir.
अबाउट
That's
लक।
why yes,
इंटरव्यू इज
sir.
ऑल अबाउट लक।
I'm improving, sir. I'm getting to
You
know
have
that
improved a lot
I'm
from what
improving a little bit.
I have seen in the past. You have improved a lot, and it
Yes.
takes our
Yes.
effort also to take one to one. Then also I'm taking. मेरे पास कितना कॉल आ गया है अभी कॉल टू वन करते करते, फिर भी मैं आपसे ही
Yes.
बात कर रहा था। ठीक है, ओके देन ना, थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you, sir.
ठीक
Thank you so
है,
much. Thank you so much.
वेलकम। ग्रुप पे फीडबैक दे दीजिएगा। ठीक है, ओके।
Yes. Yes.